I call this meeting the Board of Public Safety in order. The machine knows before I do. First thing we need to do is a conflict of interest statement. If any board member has any personal or financial conflict with any, is that okay? If any board member has any personal or financial conflict with any issues or individuals on the agenda, then please be sure to recuse yourself during these portions of the meeting. Does anybody have any conflicts? Can we deal with that?
Yeah. Should be good.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant.
No conflicts? Thank you.
Was that bothersome to anybody?
It was annoying.
What?
It made me feel kind of powerful.
Pause.
And I need to certify we had an executive session on September 17, 2024 for the sole purpose of receiving information about current employees. No other topics were discussed and no final board actions were taken. And do I need to sign something?
Not yet.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is the consent agenda. The consent agenda for this evening contains the following items. Approval of minutes from last month's meeting, August 20th, 24, the regular meeting. Approval of payroll for the periods of August 23rd and September 6th. And approval of claims for the period of August 30th. Do any of the board members wish to have any of these items removed from the consent agenda to be discussed separately? No. Hearing none, does any board member have any objections to any of the items on the consent agenda? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Passes unanimously. Now ready for police department business?
This is our statistical report for August 2024. There you see our calls for service, slightly down from 23, a 1.3% decrease. Again, these increases and decreases, we don't know completely why they happen right now. They're happening across the board. So we had a slight decrease from 23 though so far. There you see our major crime statistics and our percentages. We are trending about the same again, slight decreases. We did have a increase in homicides for the year so far, but nothing significant in terms of major trends there. Any questions on any of those numbers? Traffic stops by year. Our traffic stops have continued to increase, and that is an effort to address violent crime trends and get contacts out in violent crime areas. Violent crime involving weapons, we have seen a decrease in it year to date to 262 in 2024. We have had firearms involved in 124 of those incidents, so not quite 50%. And firearms were fired at persons in 20 of those incidents. There's our adult arrest numbers for August. Again, you see a slight downward trend, not significantly, or not statistically significant, but there's a slight downward trend for August for us. But we're also now getting into the busier time of the year with fall and the weather cooling off again and population moving around quite a bit. Juvenile referrals, our juvenile referrals are up a little bit, just by one in August in comparison to year to date. But they are reduced from July to August, which is a normal trend for us as we come out of the summer months. Kids get back into school, get back into their routines. We hopefully see a reduction in their activities. But we're sitting at 12 for the month of August.
Can you define that for me? What's a juvenile referral?
A juvenile referral is where a juvenile, they aren't criminally charged with crimes as adults are. They don't go to court. They're referred to juvenile probation for a charge. So, for instance, for theft, You would, as an adult, you'd be arrested for theft. A juvenile would be referred to juvenile probation. Yeah.
Thanks.
Is that under 18, or under 18 or under 17?
Under 18.
Okay, I heard
Yep.
discussions have changed. that.
Yes. UCR, we are coming up on the, this month, September, will be the end of the hate crimes reporting period, but we currently have no reported hate crimes. Nuisance calls. Nuisance calls, again, disturbances continue to still be the vast majority of our nuisance calls in August, followed by intoxication and then, followed by vandalism and then intoxication calls. Again, those disturbance calls tend to be sort of a, people call in, it's just a disturbance, they don't really know what it is, and then we have to sort of sort it out, but they are the majority of our nuisance type calls is disturbance. Training hours, we had 676 training hours for the month of August. We had 13 of our officers attend the 20-hour Indiana Hostage Negotiator Conference. 18 of our officers started the process to complete their state-mandated online course training for their state mandates. We had 2 of our officers attend a drone operator course, and then our usual in-service training for our CERT officers, CDU details, and our canines. You will see canines now go up a little bit because now we have 2 dogs back in service, so our in-service training hours for canines will increase because we've doubled the number of dogs. Community engagement. We had 31 events, did almost 50 hours of community engagement, and had 43 officers involved. Our big event in August was National Night Out down at Switchyard Park. We had a huge turnout for that. We worked with multiple agencies to make that event happen, coordinated with Fire Department, Sheriff's Department, IUPD, IU Health, brought in a helicopter. Big, huge event. We handed out a lot of hot dogs and bags of chips, so it was a good time. We had fun. We also did Cops on a Roof, which is an event we do with Duncan in conjunction with Special Olympics, and we raised almost $1,100 for Special Olympics in that event. Again, that was a coordinated effort by Captain Pedigo with other agencies. Our CSSs continue to do the bike index, which is an effort to help folks register bikes, so if bikes get stolen, we can track them easier. They continue that outreach, and our DROs had their outreach meetings with service providers and working coordination efforts with them. Things we have coming up, we're continuing to do our Forever Friends, which is where we do social media to promote pet adoption with the Humane Society. We have a car seat clinic coming up in 2 days. Our CSSs will be helping folks with car seats. And we have the Heroes 5K and one mile walk in coordination with the Parks Department this Saturday if anybody wants to come run a 5K with me. It'll be slow, don't worry.
How about you do the 1 mile walk with me?
Okay, deal.
I'll do a 5-mile walk.
Our Citizens Academy begins September 24th. I don't know the final numbers on registration for that, but it is a full class. And we are working with the Buddy Walk on September 29th as well. Our social workers had 22 referrals. They had 204 contacts. We can see some of their summary of events there. We had a new mental health professional begin employment with us. That was an open slot that we had. She's been trained up and started going on calls now. The social workers are continuing some family programming events for BPD employees. A client was connected with the Excel Center to finish school and receive a diploma. and they did some assistance with another client for their home health, and they've started doing some annual training on trauma and self-care for transit employees. Thank yous and appreciations. This is a letter from a professor at IU thanking us for our response to a call that we went into on June of this year, and just thanking our officers' professional response. General businesses, purchases and expenditures, just the usual upfit and replacement of a few vehicles and pieces of equipment as we start winding down the year. Personnel issues, I guess we'll talk about that at some point.
Well, we could do this on the agenda when you're done with the
Okay.
consent agenda.
Yep, we'll have a promotion of 2 officers to SPO tonight, senior police officer. And ARV deployments, the only ARV deployment that we had was at the end of August, August 27th. The vehicle was deployed to support a large-scale search warrant for drugs and narcotics, or for narcotics and weapons. We actually went to various locations throughout the county and arrested a total of 5 people, recovered over 10 guns, and a large amount of narcotics.
Is that the first time it's been deployed this year? First time I can remember.
I don't want to say whether or not that's the first. I can't remember off the top of my head. It has not been deployed a lot.
We're ready to talk about the promotion of the 2 officers. Can I get a motion to promote Officer First Class Gabriela Escabel to the rank of Senior Police Officer effective September 16th, 2024, yesterday?
I so moved. Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Passes unanimously. Thank you. Can I get a motion to promote Officer First Class Jennifer Stevens to the rank of Senior Police Officer effective September 16th, 2024?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Thank you very much. I think we're ready for the fire department business now.
All right, fantastic. Again, stats, whoops, excuse me. For August, run total to date, 4,034. And we can see that rescue EMS is still by far, our largest response. And the majority of them are within the city, and you're looking at 426 on campus. On IU, false alarms are, again, the highest. And it's not necessarily that the systems are malfunctioning. Sometimes it's just how it's labeled, or it's someone cleans their vacuum bag under a detector of the dust. It's not always burnt popcorn, but oftentimes it is. So. Heat map for our responses. You can see it's spread out. We went far out on the east side and then down south as well. So red spots are the ones we're hitting pretty frequently. This is our first arriving within the guidelines here that we have under 240 seconds, 63, almost 64%. This is our public engagement, so we're looking at our totals for the year. Inspection has met their goal, and like I said, I believe we're on track to catch our goal of, or exceed the 2023 total for adults educated. And training notes for this past month, we are above the standard that we've set for ourselves. So the crews went to Frank Southern, which if you didn't know has ammonium on site, so it's a hazmat site that we, and of course IU, biology and chemistry, both are those. We had people go to confined space rescue tech course, peer support, the Fire Rescue International Conference in Texas. Investigators went to their conference, and we had a guest instructor for public fire and life safety educator. It was a state certification class. And that was, we had multiple agencies at that one as well. Internal training, the MIH, our Mobile Integrated Health, they went to all the stations on all the shifts, trying to give the crew some updated information on sex trafficking, human trafficking, just signs to be aware of when we're out in some emergency scenes. And then we had 2 firefighters who were sworn in. So our mobile integrated healthcare, we graduated 3 from the program. Average visits went up 9.3. Services engaged 9. Agencies engaged 17. And then a number of referring agencies were 7. So that was up since last month. And then we look at some of the wins for the month. Increased quality of life for a patient with dementia. It's not only just for the patient, but their spouse. And then they were able to connect other community partners with a missing patient. And then they got they're working on getting the patient placed in extended care facility. Got some, an infant and their family set up with some medical equipment. And since MIH has been involved, this family has not had to call 911. And then there is a patient who is living on the 3rd floor apartment that really should have been on the ground floor. So they worked with the apartment complex to get that. So now they can access, maybe and get out and about as well. So, any questions so far? And then first day of school, so we had several crew members who went to, it was Fairview, wasn't it? Yeah, we went, and this is Councilman Asari's son, so he's
You need to
not
put
at
the-
school yet, but.
You need to put that somewhere. That's the cutest picture I've seen in a long time.
Fire truck guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cutest part.
It made me smile putting it on here.
Yeah. So we had, this is for Amber and Tricia. Those 2 are 2 team members for our MIH. So the fire crews went, picked him up, and then they referred them to the program, and they've been able to help that couple out. This is a nurse practitioner who wrote into Chief Kerr. I said this patient probably wouldn't have gotten the services that she needed without their involvement.
It's a little bit exciting news with some of our bond projects. Our Station 1 is set to be complete next month, and we plan on moving in next month, so.
You can have a push-in ceremony and all?
We'll have well, I say ribbon cutting, I think we might do like a chain hydraulic tool
Oh,
cutting,
okay.
something unique to fire, but.
Yeah.
We've been waiting a long time for that, so.
It looks good.
It looks great. So they'll move in October, and then shortly thereafter, admin staff will move to Showers West. So we'll leave our temporary house and get into something more permanent. Our Station 3 project is supposed to go to bid this month as well, so we can get started on the next one as the Station 1 project ends. As far as other expenditures, we have 2 remodels coming up for Station 2 and 5 that should go to bid this month as well. That is to bring the bathrooms up to the standard that we want in our fire stations, where we have multiple unisex bathrooms. So a little more accommodating to today's times. And then lastly, our Station 4 East Apron will go to bid this month for replacement. It's in pretty bad shape. As far as personnel, we currently have 4 on light duty, 1 on FMLA, We're down 4 right now, and we have all of them on deck ready to hire as soon as their processing is done. So that'll bring us back up to full staff. And any questions on any of that?
We ready for old business? Do we have any old business? Do we have any new business? Do we have petitions and communications? Is somebody on Zoom or?
Nobody ever joined.
Yeah. Barring any other discussion, I think the meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.